وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، ونتعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله مرضته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية من رحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني مشرب صوافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني مشرب صوافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صوافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. يا حبابتي يا سيدي يا فاطمة يا بنت رسول الله صلاة الله وسلامه لا تملكنا بك وعليك وعلى زوجك ابنك ولمن والاكم لله. يا حبابتي يا سيدي يا فاطمة يا بنت رسول الله صلاة الله وسلامه لا تملكنا بك وعليك وعلى زوجك ابنك ولمن والاكم لله. يا حبابتي يا سيدي يا فاطمة يا بنت رسول الله صلاة الله وسلامه أتمنى أكمل لعبك يومك وعليك وعلى زوجك وعليك وعلى من والك من في كل أبدا على خلقه ورضا نفسه جنة عرشه وذلك كلماته. تمام. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. We are on the 11th lesson today, inshallah, and we are on the lesson of on the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we follow up by the death of Sayyidah Fatima az-Zahra radhiyallahu anha wa ardaha. So he says here, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قال المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى ونفعنا الله به بعلوم الدارين. اكتب في السيرة الزهراء فاطمة البتول رضي الله عنها وأرضاها. تأليف السيد محمد حسن بن علوي الحداد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فصل 11 في انتقال أبيها إلى رفيق الأعلى ولحوقها به. ولما أكمل الله برسوله هذا الدين وأتم النعمة على المؤمنين وحباهم فتحا ونصرا مبينا نزل قوله تعالى اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. وكان في هذه الآية إشارة من طرف خفي إلى دنو أجل هذا النبي الوفي. وكان نزولها في حجة الوداع. وقد كان يقول لأصحابه الكرام في حجة هذا العام خذوا عني مناسككم فلعلي لا ألقاكم بعد عامي هذا. فلم تمضي إلا مدة يسيرة بعد عودته من مكة حتى ألمت به وعكة. حسبها المسلمون وعكة طارئة وتزول إلا فاطمة فقد أصابها منها فزع وذهول ساورها من مرضه هذا خوف وقلق حتى أنها تحس كأن قلبها قد انفلق. فجاءت إليه مسرعة قلقة فزعة. فلما رآها مقبلة هش لقائها قائلا مرحبا بابنتي فأقعدها عن يمينه فسارها بشيء فبكت ثم سارها فضحكت سارها بدنو أجله فبكت خوفا من الفراق. وسارها بأنها أول أهله لحوقا به فضحكت فرحا بالطلاق. وانتقل الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى الرفيق الأعلى وحزنت عليه حزنا لا يبلى. وقفت على قبره الشريف تقول في اضطراب مخيف بعد أن أخذت حفنة من تراب ضريحه تشمه وتهنأ بريحه. ماذا على من شم تربة أحمد ألا يشم مدى الزمان غواليا. سبت علي مصائب لو أنها سبت على الأيام عدن لياليا. ثم عادت إلى بيتها حزينة متألمة ولم ترى بعد ذلك متبسمة حتى فاضت روحها إلى باريها بعد 6 شهور من موت أبيها. ووقف علي على قبرها يسترجع ذكريات وفائها وبرها، وقال في حزن وخشوع وعيناه تذرفان بالدموع: لكل اجتماع من خليلين فرقة، وكل الذي فوق التراب قليل. وإن افتقادي فاطمة بعد أحمد دليل على ألا يدوم خليل. وقال: وقد فاضت دموعه وانتوت على الحزن ضلوعه. إلى الله أشكو لا إلى الناس إنني أرى الأرض بقي وأحبة تذهب. أخلاي لو غير الحمام أصابكم عتبت، ولكن ما على الموت معتب. وكانت وفاتها يوم الاثنين الثاني من رمضان في السنة 11 من الهجرة النبوية، على صحابها أفضل الصلاة والسلام وأزكى التحية. وعمرها حين ذاك 28 سنة قمرية، وقيل 30 عاما بالسوية. فالحكم لله الكريم المتعال، والحمد لله على كل حال. رضي الله عن فاطمة الزهراء وأرضاها، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد أزكى صلاة وأنماها. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And we are on the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the death of Sayyidah Fatima az-Zahra. Now, in this he begins the chapter. So we know that Sayyidah Fatima az-Zahra, she only lived for 6 months after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that for him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his death, there were many preempts, right, to the end of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, like beginning with the Hajj al-Wada'. And the Hajj al-Wada' is the Hajj of farewell, the farewell pilgrimage, whereby he mentioned to them that he told them, and he mentioned in this part of the book, that he told them that take from me your rights, because I fear I will not be able to see you the next year. And that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that whenever he says perhaps, whenever he says I fear, whenever he says it could be, whenever he says it could be, and so on and so forth, all of it has the meaning of it will be. So for Rasulullah, he does not say something except that it is a confirmation, that it will be. It will be. So it is perhaps, they might believe, perhaps, or or I fear that the Muslims will be doing that. All of it has a meaning of it will. It's confirmed, it will. So when he says, I fear I will not be able to see you all next year, this is adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They does not say that I will not see you all. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say what is definite. Safa, make my door not so big. Okay, close more. Make my door wide open. Okay. Yeah. Right, so it is that Therefore, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so when he says this kind of statements, it is known that it is a confirmation. It's a confirmation from that he is giving the companions. Now, right, so the death of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam actually came down with, in fact, the conquest of Mecca, Fatih Mecca. Right, with the surah, Surah Nasr. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. Right, so with Surah Nasr, that is the first ayat, that is the first indication. Right, because once he has conquered Mecca, then like he has finished in his work. The work is done. Right? He's finished in his work, and it's a matter of time before he will say his goodbyes. And so the Sahaba, they knew that not all Sahaba knew, some of them knew that when the Surah Nasr was revealed to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that is an indication that it's coming to a close. The entire message, the entire mission is coming to a close. Right? So and Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, the likes of them, Sayyidina Ibn Umar, the likes of them, they knew, or Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, they knew that Surah Nasr was an indication of the end of the life of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he used to respond to Surah Nasr, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. Say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Astaghfirullah. Right, so he began doing it in abundance towards the end of his life. Right, so that was the first indication, right, the conquest of Makkah. Right, and then
What does it mean?
Surah Nasr. Surah Nasr, the Surah of conquest. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. And when the conquest of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala comes, and there are openings, from the opening of Mecca, the conquest of Mecca. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسِ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. And you see people entering the religion in groups, huge groups of people will enter the religion. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. I then say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, and say Astaghfirullah. إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. For surely Allah is one who turns to repentance. Right, so mashallah, that's the ayat in Surah Nasr. So that was revealed at the conquest of Mecca. Right, so many of the companions at the time, they thought that that surah basically speaks about the conquest of Mecca. But those companions who understood deeper, they knew that surah is speaking about the coming of death of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the end of the mission. Because once Mecca has been conquered under the Muslims, then khalas, nothing is left to do. Right, Islam is coming to a complete. Then further on, that happened in the 8th year of the Hijrah. In the 8th year of the Hijrah that happened. Then in the 10th year of the Hijrah, Rasulullah SAW announces he's going for Hajj. Right, so, and it will be the one Hajj that he would have done after migration to Medina. So while Rasulullah SAW was still living in Mecca, he performed Hajj every year. Because he was living in Mecca anyway. So he would perform Hajj every year. But once he migrated to Medina, he stopped performing Hajj because the Quraysh had prevented the Muslims from coming to perform Hajj. Right? So when they came to perform Umrah during Hudaybiyah, they were stopped. Right? So the conquest of Mecca, and now Mecca is under the rule of the Muslims, so there's ease in performing Hajj. So the 10th year of his life, which will bring us to his death. It will bring us to, so in Zulhijjah he goes for Hajj. In Rabi'ul Awwal he passes away. So Zulhijjah, Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal. Right, so it's a matter of 3 months. Right, between the Hajj, it's a matter of 3 months between the Hajj and the death of Rasulullah. So the Hajj, it was 100,000 Sahaba and followed Rasulullah on the Hajj. Right, and they took from him the manasik, right, the rites of Hajj. And here we see that it was during Arafah, right, whereby Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala revealed the verses, Ayyum akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakumul Islam deena. Right, today I have completed for you your religion, and I have perfected my blessings upon you, and I have made it I am pleased for you as Islam as your religion. So when this verse was revealed during Arafah, when this verse, one of the Jews approached Sayyidina Umar, and he said, Sayyidina Umar, there is a verse in your book, in the Quran, that had it been revealed to the Jews, right, we would have made it a day of celebration. And Sayyidina Umar said, what verse is that? and he said, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum, in that verse. And Sayyidina Umar said, we know exactly where and when that verse was revealed, and the Muslims celebrate that day every single year. It was revealed at Arafah, right, during the final pilgrimage, right, the final pilgrimage. And so every year, Muslims celebrate Arafah anyway. Celebrate Arafah. Right, so the Muslims celebrate Arafah every year. Right, so right, so you can see.
I want to ask. So before I knew that Rasulullah did Hajj only one time, because many people like to go for Umrah, they say that you just go Hajj one time because Rasulullah did only one time Hajj. But I heard that actually before Hijrah, Rasulullah went to Hajj many times actually. And also Umrah, was it many times actually?
Basically, we can't take a hukum from this because the Rasulullah is an example, right? If he had done Hajj every year, it would be very hard on Muslims. So Rasulullah, while living in Mecca, he did Hajj every year, as you mentioned just now. Right? When he migrated, did it once. Of course, because of the society, the war, and everything, things that were happening. Right? But in a sense, it shouldn't be taken as a statement, or a hukum. It shouldn't be taken as a hukum, right? Because the scholars do not take it as a hukum. That you do only one Hajj because of only one Hajj. No, it's just that he only did one Hajj. Right, so it's not a hukum to be taken. It's not a rule.
Because some people they want to do 2 times Hajj, but some people say that you can't do that because Rasulullah did only one time Hajj. No, actually, it means you can, right?
You can do it as many Hajj as you want. You do it every year. It's up to you. It's your will. But you can't take a dalil from that. Because there are a lot of things in his life that is specific to him being a prophet. Right, so a lot of things on the mercy on the ummah and so on. So he's never said, that the best is to do only one Hajj. It's never been said by him. So there are things in his actions that we don't take it as hukum. It's not based on it. There's no hukum based on it. So a lot of things in his actions. So you can't say that this is the ruling in Islam.
So Joy, just to clarify, so he did only do one Hajj?
After migration.
After migration. Right. So did he do full Hajj prior to migration with Arafah and Muzdalifah and everything?
So when he was living in Mecca for 13 years, from before, from his youth, from before prophethood, he would do Hajj Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he would do Hajj every single year, the Hajj Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, from his youth, from his teenage years. Every single day he will do Hajj, because he is a person of worship. So every single day there will be definitely he'll be doing Hajj. So after the migration is because of political situation, they can't come into Mecca because of the politics. Right? So it'll be faulty, right, to say that it is better to do only one Hajj versus only one Hajj. It's not, because there is no dalil. It's not a dalil. It's not a dalil. So all you have to go back to the words of the scholars in terms of what is fiqh. So it's not a thing to take dalil from. But the minimum in someone's life is one Hajj. But we take many Hajj. So and for all we know that if he was given more longer life, then but he Hajj 3 months before he passed away. Right, so you can't say it can't be taken as a ruling unless he said it clearly that the best for him to do is to do one Hajj, and he said it clearly, then it becomes a dalil. Right, but his actions are doing it. So, mashallah. So the verse was revealed, and some of the companions, right, they took it as a sign that he was going to pass away. So that was the Hijjah, when it happened, and he went back to Medina. And after the Hajj, he went to Medina, right, and then there was his illness began in Safar. Safar, his illness began in Safar. It was said, right, and he grew weaker and weaker. But he was still able to go out and pray with the Sahaba and be the Imam and so on and so forth. Right, so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, he was still able to do all of these things. Right, but of course, towards Rabiul Awal, we will see that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would reach a state, right, whereby he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unable to leave his house. Right, so the story goes that his fever became more and more severe, to the point that a week before he passed away, and that he could not bring himself to stand up and perform the prayer in Jama'ah with the Sahaba. So that was when he commanded Sayyidina Abu Bakr anhu to be the Imam over the people, and that he would pray Jama'ah with Sayyidina Aisha in his room. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, and it was during this time that he called Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra to come, right, to him. So Sayyidina Aisha, she sent the word to Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wants to speak to you. So she came, and Sayyidah Aisha, as she was Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra coming towards the house, and because Sayyidah Aisha, she's much younger than Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra, about 10 years younger. Sayyidah Aisha, so that's sort of the context. Right? So Sayyidah Aisha, she was, when Rasul passed away, she was 18. Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra was 28. And 10 years, full 10 years apart. Right? Even though she's the stepmother of Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra, there's a 10-year gap between her and Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra. Right, so now, so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Fatima Az-Zahra, as she came to the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha was watching, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whispered something to Fatima Az-Zahra at first. And the first whisper, he told her that every year Jibreel would come and he would bring down he would revise the Quran with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So every year in Ramadan, he will revise the entire Quran with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from start to end, and then my eyes very swollen. So after so it's cooler when I close it. If you're fucking my eyes closed. Subhanallah. I don't know what it has happened to my face. Mashallah, your dua I think tomorrow I'll go intimate, have intimate with major ain happened. This is what Safa was talking about lah. So blew up the face. Obvious kan? What happened to my face? Yeah. You didn't notice? Alhamdulillah.
Oh no, I didn't. I did see it.
Yeah, my face looks different.
Pain.
Yeah, it's swollen and painful.
Swollen.
Suddenly now.
Woke up this morning like this. Alhamdulillah, but it's sore. It's sore. So anyway, so Fatima Az-Zahra goes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he whispers something to her. And it caused for her to weep. And then he calls her again, and he whispers something to her, and it causes for her to smile, to laugh. So Aisha asked her, "Oh Fatima, right? I've never seen someone cry so bitterly, right? One moment, then the next moment they're laughing with me, right? So tell me, what did Rasulullah whisper to you?" And said Fatima Az-Zahra, she said, "I will not divulge the secret of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I will not expose the secret of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." So after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha approached Fatima Az-Zahra again, and she said, "Ya Fatima, right now tell me what was the reason whereby you went from crying in one moment, you went into laughing in this moment." And said Fatima Az-Zahra, she said that when he first called me to him, right, he said he whispered to me, and he said that every year Jibril comes to me, right, and Jibril will revise the Quran with me once in Ramadan, but for this Ramadan Jibril revised the Quran twice with me, and I do not think any further than that it will be my last Ramadan, and that I will pass away from this disease, means he will not get cured from this disease. So by that, Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra, she wept, and she wept, not because of death, but because of separation. Right? So she knows everyone's gonna die. Death is normal. Right? But it's just the very thought of separation. Right? Just to be separated from him, even a day, right, would be too difficult for her. Even one day would be too difficult for Sayyidah Fatima Az-Zahra. So she wept. And then Rasulullah, he is the, mashallah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he cannot bear seeing Fatima Zahra grieved and weeping. So he calls her again and he says, "O Fatima, right, you will be the first of my family to join me." The first, right, of my family to join me. He's giving her the news of her death. It's going to come this way. Aren't you pleased, O Fatima, that Allah has made you the leader of the women of paradise? And from there she laughs, mashallah. And she laughed because she was told that separation is only for a while. It's only going to be a few months, and she will join, she will unite with Rasulullah. So after he passed away, and then the whole story of his death and everything, it's a whole long seerah story. You go through seerah to go through the entire story of the death of Rasulullah. But Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, when he passed away, right, she was known to, she would go to his grave, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, and she would take from the soil of his grave and she would smell the scent that is in the that is coming out, is emanating from the body of Rasulullah into the soil of his grave, right? And there was once, so she came, after the Sahaba had buried Rasulullah, she came and said, "Woe to all of you! How can you throw soil on the blessed body of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam?" And the Sahaba, they said, like, they didn't even realize how they did it. It was as if they went into a automated mode, without any emotion whatsoever. Those who had to bathe the janazah and to bury, it was Allah's mercy on them, and Allah removed from them any forms of feelings, because otherwise they'd be unable to do it. So Allah had made them numb, right? And because there were things to be done, right? Like washing janazah, to kafan, to bury. Right, so it's from Allah's mercy, Allah removes feeling, and Allah makes people numb. And that is also part of an emotion that happens to people when death comes all of a sudden. Right, so some people, they go into a numbness, and that is Allah's mercy on them. They go into a numbness, right, so that they are able to function, and do what is necessary with regards to the death. And then thereafter, like, the feelings come flooding in. Right, and the loss and the missing of the person and the pain and the broken-heartedness and so on and so forth. It comes after everything that needs to be done has been done, like the washing and the kafan and the burial. Right, so this is from Allah's mercy. Right, so there are people that if it happens to you that someone close to you passes away and you find no emotion coming in, right? That's Allah's mercy. It's Allah's mercy. You go into a numbness. You just numb. Like in a state of shock, in some sort. Then after a few days, it floods in. The realization of that person having left, it will flood in. Right, so Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, she went to the grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she said, out of sadness, that will never leave her. It's a grief that will never leave her until she dies. So from the death of Sayyidah Fatima, from the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra was never seen to be smiling ever again, ever. On the point he passed away, she never smiled ever again. And there is one thing the scholars have said that has raised her in her level, because the other children, they passed away before Rasulullah. She's the only one who lived, she outlived her father. So she's the only one amongst his children to have to go through his death. And the death of Islam is the biggest musibah, the biggest calamity, the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Sayyidina Anas said that the worst day in Medina, the worst thing to strike the Sahaba was the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So she gained that position above the other children of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam because she was made to go through the calamity of facing his death. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Allah spared him of facing her death, because he faced really, of his 7 children, 6 children, he faced their deaths, right? So Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, his love for her was so strong. Allah spared him to face her death, but she had to face his death. It was only 6 months. So she said here, so what is on those? So what is on those who smell like the dust of Ahmed, and it's the sand of the grave of Ahmed. Right, then he smelled, right, the smell of that they will last, right, they will last into eternity. And then he said that he has come onto me a calamity, that if this calamity, can you all keep the door closed, girls? Girls. Don't leave it wide open. Leave the door wide open. Like that he have so it has afflicted onto me a calamity. If it was afflicted onto the day, it will turn the days into nights. So if this calamity was so heavy, if it came onto day would become night. Because of the darkness of this. And Sayyidina Anas said that the day Rasulullah came into Medina, right, there was no brighter day in Medina. A light shone throughout Medina. The day whereby they buried Rasulullah, that it was as if a darkness overcame and engulfed Medina. But what he was experiencing was that it was said that the normal lighting of the earth, right, is seen dark after having lived in the light of Rasulullah. So Sayyidina Anas was experiencing was a normal lighting on the earth. But what they were in for 10 years was a prophetic light. So when he came, they got used to prophetic light. So when he passed away, they went back to normal light, and it seemed as if it was darkness all around because they're not used to it. Subhanallah. Right. So so she went back, and she was never seen to smile again. She was in this very sad position, sad state, right, till death came to her. Right, it was a story of her. Once one of her friends saw her crying in her room, and when she was asked why are you crying, she said that she was thinking about the janazah and how they used to carry the janazah. In that time, they would just place the janazah that was in kafan. They would place the janazah on a piece of board, and they would carry it like that, so everyone could see the janazah. Right, it was in the past, it was like done like in that way. But this person said to her, well, she saw something in Habsha, in Abyssinia, whereby they had a structure, a wooden structure around the janazah, right, and then they would cover it, right, and they would carry it in that way. And so the Fatimah Zahra, she got so happy when she heard that. She said, I give you the wasiyah, you ensure my janazah is covered by a wooden structure, it was like a coffin. Right, and here in Tarim, they have it. In Tarim, they have this wooden structure, right, and you just put the janazah inside and they put cloth over it, right, and they just carry it. I've seen it. In Sarawak as well, right? They put it in there. Right, so then the janazah is covered. So Fatimah Zahra, she gave the wasiyat for it to be done in that way.
Because only the kafan, you can still see the body, right?
Yeah, the kafan you can still see the situation of the body, but it's you're wrapped.
Yeah,
you're wrapped by the cloth, right? And then so she also gave a wasiyat to be buried at night. And she also gave a wasiyat that only Sayyidina Ali to wash her. So Sayyidina Ali washed the Fatimah Az-Zahra. Like, so if it comes a question, about like, should we do that? And she will say, only our husbands wash us. The answer is basically Sayyidina Ali was able to do it by himself. Right? If you get your husband to wash you, the people in the room, right, will have to be other women, and they will have to be mahram to your husband.
Yes.
You can because other men can't come in, not even your own sons. And your sons is your body is aura to them because you're a woman, right? So, but for the husband, no, he's the only man who's able to come into your janazah washing. So, in a sense, unless you have sister-in-laws, he has all kinds of sisters. So maybe he has sisters. Or your daughters. So a mahram to your husband, right? So he's mahram because what's that?
Your mother.
Yeah, your mother. If your mother wants is gonna wash, she's alive, she wants to wash you. Right. So if you want your husband to do it, then you get women who are mahram to him. So high chances your daughters, or his sisters. Really, if you're gonna do it in that way, or his aunties, or his, whoever's mahram to him. Right, so this is what it makes it very troublesome. to find women who are mahram to the husband to be in the washing area with the husband. So technically it's best just all the women do it. Women do it for women, men do it for men. For Rasulullah, the men were doing it for him. It wasn't the women. He had a lot of wives, right? But none of them did it for him. It's just the men did it for him. Right? So the best thing we do is that it is the same gender washes the janazah. Right? So for Fatima Zahra is the exception. Again, it is a khususiyah, right? Because her husband is able to handle one janazah by himself. And how many of our husbands can handle one janazah by himself? Because janazah you have to go and flip the body over, you have to flip the body over, you have to do all kinds of things. Right? So you might want to have at least 3 people. At the very least, another 3 people, if not 5. 1 at the head, right, and 2 by each sides. Right, so at least 3 people on the washing. If for 3 at least, and then 5 at best, and no more than 5. And because for more than 5, then it's unnecessary people coming into the washing. Because it's the aura of the person. It's still the person covered, but the water and everything will make it like the body shape can be seen. Right, so that's why it's unsightly. In Singapore, I've seen that there was one time I was there for washing of one of our relatives, right, and the person who was washing it, I called in the son to say goodbye to the mother before they did cover. Right, and it was very unsightly because we just washed her, and so the wet cloth was clinging to her body. Right, so in a sense that you wouldn't want your sons walking in on your body with a wet cloth clinging to your body. I mean, so they are sons, they are adult sons. Right? So I feel very uncomfortable she did that. And there is no hukum, there's no sunnah, there's nothing. And but she did it only like to the sons to come and like kiss the hand of the mother and to somewhat involve them in the washing. Which all what she done. There's no need for any of these things. Right? It's like they're doing things that are. This is what you say bid'ah. This is really bid'ah. It's not needed. The sons can always kiss the mother after they've done the kafan and so on. So once the kafan is done, and she's prepared and she's beautiful, and then if you want to kiss her forehead, kiss her, with her farewell, yes. Right? But in a sense to kiss her hand and so on, that should have been done while she was alive. No, when she was sick and she was alive, that was when you should be, doing your affections towards her. After she's passed away, it's a one affection and then, and when in fact here in Tarim, Hababa Maryam should be like, why do people, why do you kiss the deceased? Right? Some people they say, just, you're supposed to do it before he passed away. Before they pass away. It's just, I guess it's just the heart, just do it one last time. Right, but she said, the deceased, of course, you do wudu on the deceased and so on. Right, so with the husband also.
The husband cannot kiss after. For example, the wife already died and already did the kafan and showered and the wudu, so the husband cannot.
If he kills his wife at the execution, his wudu is clarified. But in a sense, like you said, the affection is before passing away. But there's no wrong, there's no harm in doing it so. There's a do so. But again, with the covering of the aura, the cutting of the aura. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Right, and then my husband's here. Wait. Let the door be closed, girls. You're all right at the door. Why are you Why are you right at the door? Just look at the door there. At the door. With the girls. Okay. Tell him he can come in. Yeah, I guess he did. I hope he did.
Let's keep him outside.
Okay, come here. Okay, then in 6, so thereafter in 6 months she passed away. And so the sister she passed away easy death, and at night they buried her, so no one could see her. And so Ali he came and he said sometimes a poetry, and then said Fatima Zahra, and he says that every gathering of those who are close there is a separation, and that all those above the earth, like they are very few. Meaning that those people who really mattered to him in his life, they are now beneath the earth. Sayyidina Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sayyidah Fatima az-Zahra. So, and then me losing Fatima after Ahmad is a sign that the close beloved never stays. Right? And then with more tears he said, and only to Allah and not to people that I complain. I complain that the pain that he is experiencing. That I see the earth continuing, and that my beloveds have gone. Right? Oh, my companion, right? It was something else that had struck you. Right? I would have scolded, I would have reprimanded it, but death is not something to be reprimanded. It's something to be accepted. Like that. And so Sayyidina Ali thereafter, you can imagine his life. Right, the Muhammad passed away, Sayyidina passed away. Right, he didn't marry again. From the wasiyah of Fatima Zahra. Fatima Zahra advised him to marry Sayyidah Umama. And Sayyidah Umama is the niece of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, Sayyidah Zainab. And here we see that Sayyidah Fatima Zahra sees that she is leaving behind young children. So if a woman knows that she's leaving behind young children, right, and she knows that these young children, they need a woman in their lives to nurture them, right? So it is advisable for her to actually point out in her wasiyah, in her will. She doesn't have to say, before she dies, but put it in her will. That if you think you know of a sister, right, someone that you trust your children with. So you can point your husband to her. Right, so if you're okay if you marry again. Right, but if you give small children, it's high chances that he would marry again. Right, because he needs someone to look after the small children, the babies. Right, so it is the way, right, that they point their husbands to a woman they have rebel with. Right, because in a sense it makes sense. It does make sense. You are dead. Like you're not there in the picture anymore. So you want someone to look out who will love your kids the way you love them. And the best person is your sister. If she's not married, right? So what Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, all her sisters have passed away. So the best person was her niece. Because now she has all these young children. Sayyidina Al-Hasan was 8 years old. Al-Hasan was 7, and the daughters were all 5 and 4. They're small children. mashallah. So who does she trust her kids with? She doesn't want some random woman that Sayyidina Ali is going to marry, and this woman's going to look after her children. She gave the wasiyah to Sayyidah Umama, I marry my niece. Because she will love my kids the way I love them. She's my niece.
So is that like a suggestion?
Yeah. So he's not bound by it. He's not bound by it. Right, but in a sense, like you cannot give him a wasiyah. Right, so if you don't want to get married in the first place, it's up to him. Right, but in a sense, you say if you do need to get married, I know of someone that I think will be a good mother to our kids, and I think she would match you in your character whatsoever. I mean, in a sense, you could help him out. So I think the one thing that for men, especially when they lose a beloved wife, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? It was unconceivable a second marriage for a lot of men. Right? They just this is one wife, right? But sometimes it's because need requires it. Now there's a need that's there. And so for Rasulullah, he had teenagers in his house, right? So he needed someone to take care of the household. So he married the Sauda, an older woman, to manage affairs of the household. I know some of the Habaib, Khalid bin Sumit, also when his wife passed away, right? He's an old man. He needs a woman, to help him out with things and be a mahram to him and be able to enter into his room and so on. So he married, right? And so that's why in Islam it expands your understanding of marriage beyond what is sexual. Because marriage is a lot of things. It's a responsibility, it's help, it's assistance, it's companionship. It's a lot of things that comes in with marriage, right? So Islam extends it. Right? So when you see of it that way, to make someone is halal for someone, so that she can help him out, she can wash his clothes, she can especially one who is elderly. So Sayyidina Ali married Sayyidah Umama. Apa dia? Nah,
It's in my house.
spider.
I see what's so big.
Is it between them?
In the house.
No, it's nothing.
It's this one.
How do I bring it down?
Oh, spider. Spider is tummy.
Maybe.
Is it?
You already?
Is it gone?
Already go?
Yeah. I don't know. I went to the cafe.
Oh yeah. It's okay, Amber. It's okay,
It's not so
Inshallah.
big.
You see, it's small.
Yeah.
Very small.
And he is quite big.
What is
With long legs.
Sorry, not this
Small.
Mashallah, you're very calm, Stella.
I'm okay with spiders.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a cockroach or something. Babies get. Cockroach no. Spiders are like lovers. But spiders do bite.
They
The
do.
They
spiders here sting.
They bit.
Yes, spiders.
But you would feel it, right?
Yeah, you would.
We
but
found
it-
one.
It does make it swell.
And we
The spiders
Like the
don't have
ants are
like-
different. The ants
Yeah.
are so fast.
the ants when they bite, it was swell.
It's about you.
Happened to
Did
Aisha.
it?
yeah.
So
That's why we
so
looked.
big
We
swell.
found the spider.
Yeah.
One big spirit. The one.
Okay, so mashallah,
Like a
So-
monster.
mashallah. So you will finish that.
Like a
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the spiders come from.
I don't know why it be.
It's open, it's keep it like this. Like that.
Yes,
Yeah, we've taped cardboard over
Ah.
our ones because the mosquitoes come in as well.
From there.
Yeah.
They're empty.
Well, I think our one has access to the outside, but your one must have access to the roof, right?
It feels closed because I know Ali puts his top back. Yeah. Okay, we're done actually. Right, so
so sorry for that.
now so I've already your husband's reading, is it?
No, not downstairs, but.
At your home now. So mashallah. So she passed away on the 2nd of Ramadan. So the Ramadan, the 2nd of Ramadan will be her howl. The howl of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra happens in Ramadan. The howl of Sayyidah Khadija happens on the 11th of Ramadan. So Fatima Zahra 2nd of Ramadan and Sayyidah Khadija 11th of Ramadan. The howl means that they're passing. They're passing. Sayyidah Khadija is buried in Mecca, in Al-Ma'la. Ma'la in Mecca. Right, so you could, Ma'la is a graveyard near the house. So you can find her there. She's there. MashaAllah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة الله جل وعلا والعمل خالصا وتستعين بالهدى والسلام وذوي الحكمين وإلى حرم تجري محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.